at the YouTube as well. We might have a false alarm here. Viewers waiting one, that's probably producer Todd or you, but I do
Could
not
be.
see it going live.
What's going on here? I have the stream key. Well, let's try it again. It says I'm on air, but it's not. It shows that it's not. Okay, let's stop this.
Hmm.
Now I turned it back on again. So
And do we want to go back to intro music? Or do we want to just stop and start afresh?
that's what I want to do, but is it going to mess it up though?
There's like 30 seconds of us just staring at the screen.
Yeah, Todd's saying he hears us, but I don't know how far behind he is. So anyway, I think we're just gonna have this weird awkward spot. This is
The whole intro, this is going to
well,
make for a great audio podcast.
well, this is our MO is at the beginning of our show we have awkward pause. It's our
Yes,
new segment called
yes.
Get Stuff Together.
Yeah, Dave does it, fixes it live.
Yeah, I didn't do
Ah,
anything except shut it off and then it started working.
that's fun. Does say we have an excellent collection connection at this point.
I gotta tell you, my ATEM, that's no joke. That is a real piece
Okay.
of equipment.
Yes.
Well, anyway, it seems like you're like 20 seconds behind. Well, that's fine. Nate, I think our two listeners on the audio are just going to have to muddle through this, but this is the Not Nerd podcast.
Yeah,
You have
we're going to be
found
down to
us.
two listeners after these last few weeks, but yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we're here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well,
Do,
hello
do, 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 do.
again. Da-da-da-da. Yeah. So for those of you who missed it, that's what we typically do.
And I will let you know, we refer to producer Todd. He has nothing to do with the production of this show, but he does chime in nearly
He
every
does.
week and gives us feedback on what's going on as we work through these issues. But we have made some improvements this week. Dave has once again switched everything around. And
Yes, I have rebuilt my entire system yet again from scratch. Well, not really from scratch, but yeah, I'm using a new computing device, otherwise known as
mhm,
a MacBook Pro M3, and we can talk about it more on a future show. But it's
yes.
given me the ability to have an output that now can go into my ATEM Mini, which is streaming live to the internet right now in full 1080p 60 frames per second, I think, or maybe 30, which is what I prefer.
Yeah.
But anyway, and Todd also mentioned that it's non-blown out. I remember, if you remember last week, my forehead was just a
Yes.
white
Is your
thing because I got
Sony
my camera
camera
working too.
working? Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yes, we're getting there, and I think with these new equipment changes that you've made, that we are going next week. Episode 416 is going to be
The first,
pure gold.
it's going to be the first episode with no technical issues. It only took us 400 shows.
Yes, yes. We're getting there. Well, with that, let us get into some follow up. And following tech news as I do, you would think that this was the biggest story in the history of technology. And while interesting, I don't think it really matters too much to the average person. But Friday afternoon, early Friday afternoon, OpenAI announced that they had fired Sam Altman, the CEO, we've been talking about. They just had their big event and they're making all these changes and doing all this stuff with Microsoft. So, the article starts off from Ben Thompson over at Stratechery, who kind of gives a overall picture. His first sentence: I have, as you might expect, authored several versions of this article, both in my head and on the page, as the most extraordinary weekend of my by the board that governs the nonprofit. Then President Greg Brockman was removed from the board and subsequently resigned. Over the weekends, rumors surged that Altman was negotiating his return, only for OpenAI to hire former Twitch CEO Emmett Shear as CEO. Finally, late Sunday night, Satya Nadella announced via tweet that Altman and Brockman, together with colleagues, would be joining Microsoft. So this was a roller coaster of a weekend for OpenAI, who makes ChatGPT and DALL-E image generation, and it has kind of been the whole world of AI.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a ton of investment from Microsoft, so it makes sense that Microsoft just says, "Okay, see you later, OpenAI. We'll just hire them in themselves." But again, does it affect the normal person's day to day? No. Is it a pretty crazy story in the world of technology? It sure seems that way. So there was a report over the weekend that nearly 500 OpenAI employees had signed on that they were going to be quit if Sam Altman wasn't brought back as the CEO. I mean,
Well, this just
wild
goes to
stuff.
show you how incestuous all these tech companies and other companies are. There was a diagram I saw online once that showed all the board of directors who were presidents or CEOs of other companies that were boards, and they were
Yes.
just all connected in this big web of this club. It's all this one big club of the same people.
Yeah. It's wild how they all just move around. Or yeah, Al Gore was on Apple's board,
Hmm.
and all these people are connected. But OpenAI, a lot of people utilize it. They just announced, we had talked about, what is it, 100 million users
This
per
just
week.
in,
And
there's some action
oh,
on
UPS, are
the
they coming to you? Oh
driveway
no.
cam.
We've got driveway cam working. Who cares about any other technical issues? And we're
Yeah,
recording a little bit early today due to a scheduling conflict, so we've got a little daylight this time of year.
yeah. And there's no Bible studies or anything going on, so that car's going to be sitting there. But
Nice.
yeah, and as we wrap up our follow-up segment on Sam Altman, I can't help but remember that there was something that we forgot to do. Uh, it may have to do with a hat or something,
Oh,
but we've got more
yes.
action. Got more action here. We've got walking
Got
across
pedestrians.
pedestrian
Man,
using sidewalk.
we need to start recording earlier in the day to get all that activity. Yes, we did forget that. Now, this hat, I had to look it up. This was a bonus hat with some hats I ordered, and you'll see it's an Ace of Spades. And I found out there is the sticker that says officially licensed, which I question, but I'm not going to call them out because it was a good deal on the hat. That this is the logo for Armand de Brignac Champagne,
What?
which you might know better as Ace of Spades, a French champagne owned by Sean Jay-Z Carter and LVMH. But yes, this was, they gave me two bonus hats in the order, and this was one of them. And I was like, oh, that's what it's a logo for. So I am promoting Ace of Spades champagne. If they would like to sponsor the podcast, please contact us via any channels.
The fact that you have a service that gives you bonus hats for ordering hats is something to be pondered. Oh, hold on.
Yes.
There's an update. We've got we've got
Wow.
mysterious man in
Oh, they
brown.
are coming to you?
Is I don't know. I already received my package for today, but I guess what? There's one that's supposed to come tomorrow. It looks like it might be coming early.
Ooh, nice.
Look at that.
UPS. UPS, if you would like to sponsor the Not Nerd podcast, please reach out to us please reach out to Dr. RAP VHS, our agent,
Yes.
agent and producer. Very
Yeah.
cool. Well,
Uh,
yeah,
but
OpenAI craziness. Did you have any other
I
thoughts on
did.
that? And
You didn't ask me about my mug.
oh yeah, do you have a mug for us today?
I
Is it
did.
from
All of my
Champagne
Starbucks,
region of France?
well, all the Starbucks we've been there, cups were dirty, so I found this little gem in the cupboard.
It's too bad Isla is not watching because she might need to steal that from you, the pretty
Yeah,
unicorn mug.
I think it's my dad. It just showed up one day. And you
As
might
coffee
think,
mugs
oh,
often do.
and reminder, my daughter is 21 years old. So,
Yes. Yes, yes. And Dr. or producer Todd, he has many names. Moviegoers will not be seated during the spectacular UPS delivery segment in all caps.
yes.
Yes. Very nice. Well, let us get back to, were you done with the AI? We're
I
we're going all over the place
I think we
today.
need to finish that AI story and move on.
Yes, yes. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Again, is it going to affect the day-to-day of ChatGPT? Maybe a little bit. Is it going to make Microsoft different? Maybe a little bit. We'll talk about Microsoft a little bit more later. But our next one, there was other groundbreaking news this last week, something that people never thought would happen.
Hmm?
Apple announces RCS standard coming to
Message.
messages, to which most of you go, huh? Well, we all know that Apple has iMessages, the blue bubble, Android's green bubble. Now, if you are not talking to another Apple device, it has used the SMS slash MMS standard, which is where text messaging started. MMS brings in the media to it. Well, RCS was developed a few years ago, and many Android phones, not all of them,
Mm-hmm.
use the RCS. So everybody, I mean, Google's had billboards saying, Apple needs to do RCS. Well, they announced it next year at some point. They are going to of is the videos and photos that you send between iMessage and Android are
Mm-hmm.
very low quality using that MMS standard. So the
Yeah,
RCS will at least make better quality photos and images sent
that's good.
between the two. So it's a good thing. They're saying that they'll still I think that Apple actually said they're still going to use the green bubble
Well, sure.
for those messages just to differentiate. But it should improve things, and maybe they can change the standard to have more encryption because it would be good to have encryption on as many places as possible.
I hear encryption is the wave of the future.
Yes, yes, that's what they say. Okay, I'm just looking at the stream and it says no data. This stream will end shortly unless you restart it in your streaming software.
I see that too. That doesn't make me happy. What could be going on? Well, let's see what Dr. RAPVHS says. It says the stream stops. Okay, so uh, I'm going to. I think they're now streaming from two ways. Oh, it looks like it's back. That's good.
Looks like it's back.
Yeah,
Okay,
more to more to learn about problems.
why streams just stop in the middle. I'm glad we happened to notice that.
Yeah.
I don't know where we were. Hopefully, you heard some RCS stuff. I'm going to move on to the next one because it's kind of related. Just days before Apple's announcement, I think we've talked about the Nothing phone. The
Mm-hmm.
brand is Nothing, which is a weird name and it always gets confusing, but they had announced a chat application that would let you get iMessage on your Android device. The
Okay.
problem with this, you would have to sign in with your iCloud to an iMac that they have somewhere, and then it would pass those messages to your Android phone, which
Okay.
means they have your iCloud information. Now, I'm not saying they're going to do anything nefarious with it, but seems like a major security hole, and it kind of becomes a whole lot less of an issue after Apple adds in RCS. So there was people saying that Apple was just waiting on that just to uh, knock nothing down a few pegs.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't have much to say on that because it's, as the article says, uh, it's a mess.
It's a mess. It's a mess. And people were excited about it, but then once they started getting information on it, they're like, oh, wait a second, maybe I don't like this. But it is everybody's favorite time of the month. And we have a big celebration. We have an anniversary this month.
What could it
I've
be?
got an art. I've got an article in the show notes. Microsoft celebrates 20 years of Patch Tuesday.
Are you kidding me? Wow, that's a lot of patches.
Yes, yes, it was conceived and implemented in 2003. Before this unified approach, our security updates were sporadic, posing significant challenges for IT professionals and organizations.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And along with that, I've got another link in the show notes to Microsoft Patch Tuesday, November 2023 edition from Krebs on Security. Did Microsoft today release updates to fix more than 5 dozen security holes in its Windows operating systems and related software, including 3 zero-day vulnerabilities that Microsoft warns are already being exploited in active attacks.
Nicely done, by the way.
Whew, yeah, but yes, just a great reminder that to keep your devices updated. And 20 years Microsoft's been doing this, which I know in the IT world does make a big difference when you can kind of plan around that second Tuesday of the month. I believe it's second Tuesday,
Hmm.
being Patch Tuesday. So go to your Windows machines and hit that Windows Updates button and let it do its thing.
You think it'd be more like Patch Saturday or something when it's not in the middle of the business day, you know?
Well, yes, yes, you would think that, but in most major little peek behind the curtain, in most major IT systems, they have updates turned off, or they use a scheduler, or they have control over that, so random servers aren't just restarting after updates
Yeah,
at any given time.
I hear you.
Well, you know what I want to hear, ya? Dave's pro tip of the week.
If I seem distracted, it's because I am. Um, so I'm trying to get all my equipment here going. Well, this is an oldie but a goodie, but um, I think more and more people are just realizing that when it comes to iOS, there really isn't any other browser than the Safari web browser. You can download Chrome, you can download Firefox, but it's really just Safari. And it, in my experience, seems to work the best. And now that we can switch profiles and contexts between like work and home and whatever, it's really becoming something that I use more. And I discovered this tip, and it's something that I think I knew, but I had forgotten. Like you and I have forgotten more tips than most
Oh,
people knew. But what it is quickly switching between tab groups. So you'll see here on my sample phone here, and it's going to be hard to show you. Maybe I can hold it up here so that you can see it here as well. But if you want to switch between tabs, one methodology is to press the little button on the side, then your tabs show up, and then you click on the other tab, and Bob's your uncle, right? Well, a more efficient way to switch between tabs is just to simply swipe on the little URL bar, and it
oh,
just goes from page to page, from tab to tab. So I remembered that today and thought I would share it all with you.
yes, that is so great. And I have lots of tabs open, which we've discussed that in the past.
But if it's like
But
there's
yeah,
info on this page and you want to see it compared to this, you can just go, burp, 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 you know.
yes, and it works much better than it used to of keeping those pages loaded. So
Hmm.
each time you swipe, it doesn't. If you haven't loaded it for a while, it might not be there. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can quickly compare two things there, and that is a very nice little tip that I definitely had forgotten. And we got a new error on YouTube
Yeah.
Studio. More than one ingestion is using the primary URL. Send one stream to the primary
I know what it means. You can just
ingestion
ignore it.
URL. Okay. Whew. fun stuff. Getting new errors. We're
I'm just
shooting for
scared to
that's
touch
what we
anything.
shoot for. They're like the Mac Geek Gab. Their goal is that each person will learn 5 new things. Our
Hmm.
goal is to bring you 5 new errors each week.
5 new errors each and every week.
Every week. Send feedback to feedback@macgeekgab.com.
Yes.
Well, on to everyone's favorite segment. It is time for Just the Headlines.
Whoops. Say that again.
It is time for Just the Headlines.
Those buttons are way too close to one another.
Nice. And back to the driveway cam. Too bad we couldn't plan it with the UPS driver. You should run out there and say, hey, can you wait like 5 minutes and come back
Well, I'm eager to see
for
what's
our
in that
Just the.
box. I don't think it's for me.
Yes,
It's too
yes.
big.
Well, you're also eager to hear what we have for Just the Headlines. Users can't speak to viral AI girlfriend CarynAI because CEO is in jail for arson.
Yikes.
Prison phone company leaked 600,000 with a T users' data and didn't notify them, FTC says.
Hmm. Bummer.
Google paid 8 billion with a B to make its apps default on Samsung phones.
I didn't know this was news.
Windows is now an app for iPhones, iPads, Macs, and PCs.
Keep your windows out of my Mac OS.
Hallucinating AI models help coin Cambridge Dictionary's word of the year.
Hmm.
And those are just the headlines.
I didn't know any of those things. I should really look at the show notes before I come on this thing.
Yeah, optional, optional. Well,
Optional.
let us move on to our takes of the week. Uh, First one we'll go with is SpaceX, their Starship rocket, and the headline SpaceX Starship rocket lost in second test flight. But I saw a lot of videos of this and stuff over the weekend. This absolutely massive Starship was launched successfully, but then my understanding they lost some communications, so they used the self-destruct feature, but it was controlled. It wasn't like it just exploded on its
A
own.
better headline would have been SpaceX rocket lost in space.
Yes,
That would have been
yes,
better.
indeed. But a related story, I thought this one was interesting. NAS- NASA's that was an interesting place to start. Let me start over. NASA astronauts' tool bag lost in space is visible with binoculars.
Hmm.
So, an astronaut's tool bag that accidentally floated away during a routine spacewalk is the newest object for skywatchers to find in the night sky.
That's
So, get your
crazy.
binoculars out. And
Yeah.
apparently, it's visible with binoculars. I imagine they have to be somewhat decent ones. But yeah, that is pretty wild
Huh.
um, of his backpack. So, we've got add it to the pile of space junk, a tool bag. Uh,
Hey man, finders keepers. If I come
yeah,
across that, I'm keeping it.
yeah, let's go. It'll be a race to recover the tool. Well, could you imagine the price, the cost of a NASA tool bag? I mean, that thing's probably worth $1 million with all
50
the tools
bucks.
in it. I wonder if it has any astronaut ice cream in it or a pen that writes upside down.
Well, you can't do those things outside, so
Yes.
I doubt it. I mean,
Okay.
you could
Well,
open your mask outside, but then you'd be dead. But
yeah, let's not eat the astronaut ice cream in space. This next one, we all follow this, so we probably have them in our Facebook feed and saw this release. But the Wireless Power Consortium, uh, our favorite group, they have released the Qi QI, my favorite Scrabble word, version 2.0 standard for wireless charging. And they say they have a lot of devices ready for approval, so they should be out in the holiday. Now, Qi charging was the original standard that everybody used for wireless charging. Then Apple did their MagSafe, which is a little bit different with the magnets, which aligns things. Whereas with Qi, you could just kind of set it down and charge. Well, what this version 2 standard does is comes more in line with the MagSafe. So you can
Hmm.
do the 15-watt charging that MagSafe offers. Qi, I think it was 10 watts or less, maybe only like 7.5 watts. So
Mm-hmm.
having this new standard that will work on more devices, well, it just improves it. So basically, this is another example of Apple doing something that kind of changes the industry for the
Sure.
better. So it'll be a good thing for wireless charging, which I still really only use in my car mount with a MagSafe cable on it. But
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people use a lot of wireless charging.
Hey, producer Todd says that Notner needs a Patch Monday
Oh,
in reference to
yeah,
Patch Tuesdays.
patching our podcast.
Anything to
Yes.
help us work better.
Yes, yes. We just patched during the live show.
Yeah, no need
Uh,
to do it ahead of time.
no, no, why would you do that? And we were talking about OpenAI and Microsoft earlier, but they had I believe, another event this fall, their Microsoft Ignite event,
Yeah.
and almost the entire thing was talking about their Copilot, which is kind of their AI that they're building into everything. So,
Well, didn't they just
um,
buy Chat GPT or whatever? I'm confused. What do they need?
well, they invested a lot in OpenAI, the company, but they also didn't have a lot of power in that. But if Sam Altman's coming on,
Hmm.
which would be interesting right after they have this big event where they're talking about their AI stuff, and then Sam Altman is part of their company now. They're working on some AI chips. They're partnering with NVIDIA, which does a lot of the AI stuff, AI security offerings, AI in Azure, AI in this and that, and everywhere else. But if you use Windows, a Windows computer, I guess is where you would use Windows. You should, if you have not already, start seeing more and more of this Copilot, which is kind of AI baked into everything that you do. So they are going pretty heavily. And this article from Spiceworks, um, the headline says, "Is Microsoft the most clear-headed company on AI?" So approximately 50% of the 600 sessions at Ignite 2023 were AI related in some way. So they are building in a lot of AI to everything Microsoft.
It seems like Microsoft thinks that AI is the way of the future.
Yes, yes.
And to borrow a phrase, seems like they're betting the farm on AI.
Yes,
But I don't know that
yes.
that's the right thing to do,
I,
especially when it
I
rises up and murders people.
well, there is that. Oh, and our security and privacy story of the week. Samsung says hackers accessed customer data during year-long breach. Year-long breach.
Why was it a breach all year long? Why didn't they stop it?
That is a great question. This was for UK-based customers. In a statement to TechCrunch, Samsung spokesperson Chelsea Simpson, representing the company via a third-party agency, said Samsung was recently alerted to a security incident that resulted in certain contact information of some Samsung UK e-store customers being unlawfully attained.
Hmm.
Ugh. Another breach, and I try to only mention one. I guess we did have the prison phone system one in just the headlines, but these breaches are happening all the time, and I don't know why I even bring them up anymore because what do we really do about it?
I
What's
want to
the
make a spreadsheet and list all of them because every time I try to tighten the security where I work, I get pushback, and I just want to silently hold up
say?
the list of this month's security breaches, and I'll
Unravel
update it.
the scroll and
Yeah,
just let it roll out on the
it goes down the
floor.
stairs into the other level
Yeah.
and around the corner. And yeah,
Yeah, it's just a good reminder to be aware of where you're putting your information and who's contacting you for information. I guess that's the more pertinent stuff. There's not really anything you can do on these big company breaches. It's more maybe we should focus more on the, what the scams are, that type of stuff where people can attack you personally instead of another company giving all your information away, which has happened a billion and a half with a B and a half times now.
yes, it
Uh,
has.
yes. Well, let us cleanse our palate with our bonus odd take. This is a fun one that I found via cockey.org, where we get a lot of our bonus odd takes. Um, I wasn't familiar with this specific one, but uh, Cable Sasser. I recognize the name. I don't know where he's from. I
He's in
should have
all
done
the
some research.
podcasts with Gruber and all those
Okay,
guys.
so he's in the tech bubble and he has cabel.com, CABEL. But he did this long article about the Gadget catalogs, the DAC catalogs, which back in like the 70s and 80s. But this is just so right up our alley. All the retro,
Beautiful.
toys, Darth Vader, old phones, rotary phones, Atari. But if you scroll far enough through here, just this blast from the past, and he talks some about some of the other catalogs of the time and who copied who and all that stuff. But if you get down far enough, he's got some links to some of these catalogs he's collected over the years. But man, the pictures in this are just
Where?
I mean,
I'm
late
going a
70s,
thousand
early
miles
80s.
down.
Oh, it's about right halfway. And he talks a little bit. Well, he's got some sharper image catalogs about halfway. Going,
Hey,
I think
I have that phone.
the Mickey Mouse phone.
Yeah, this is a newer version of it, but oh, mine actually looks a little bit different. It's got the touch dial pad, but it doesn't have the traditional headset. It's handset. It's more of a it's all on the base. That's what I'm saying. It's not in his arm,
Yes.
but oh well.
He's got some sharper image catalogs from 1982 linked to in there. But
Products
yeah,
just look
it's
so much better back then.
yes, yes. And then he's got some other links. There's 9 pictures in a grid where it starts, and then he's got several more. But it is a very long article. It's a little
Yeah.
bit above. There you go. There's the sharper image, and if you go a little bit further down, you can click on the actual DAC from the Internet Archive. He's got a bunch of them linked, but
Okay.
um, yeah,
That
floppy
is a
disks.
huge article.
Yes, yes. Well, and he's got comments in there too. So, as you can imagine, many people our age have probably jumped into the comments and done that. But I just love the retro stuff, and I know you do too. We have a sweet
Mm-hmm.
spot for that, for our childhood and the technology and the good old catalog. I have been surprised we get. Probably because of Isla, it's several different toy catalogs. There's Mud Puddles, the toy
Mm-hmm.
store near
Right here
you
in
in
town.
Sherwood. They came out with a great Christmas catalog that was very well done, a ton of toys, and then like Amazon sends us one, and Fred Meyer's. So no Sears catalog. That I mean that was the gold standard
Yeah,
of all things catalog. But I thought that was a fun link to share with people if you want to reminisce
that
to
is fun.
days of yore. And not days of yore. It's time for our picks of the week.
Nice. I see that you have a note there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I did want to talk a little bit. This is Monday, November 20th, as we record, which means Black Friday is this Friday. But I swear I started getting Black Friday emails a month ago.
Oh yeah.
Amazon's got a lot of their deals live already. It's just become like basically from Labor Day to Christmas Eve is just one big sale. But I do want to remind people if you're looking for some unique gifts, we're going to try to do some gift guides and that kind of thing out of our picks of the week over at notpicks.com. But um, because of our picks of the week, Dave and I are very difficult people to shop for. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have someone like that in your life, go check out Not Picks, and you can probably find something unusual enough that they wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
So, have you seen any Black Friday stuff that you, or is
There
there
was a
anything you're looking for?
I got a thing from Deku Deals that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is a 7-year-old game, it's not the new one, was on sale for $40. I thought it was on the Nintendo eShop, but it's like it was a
No.
Walmart or something like that. But
Oh,
I mean, I'm just kind of done. I've kind of arrived at this place in my life where you and I were having a discussion before the show about whether I save money by making myself inconvenienced. And
yes.
I'm not a rich man, but I'm wiser now than I used to be. And
Yes.
sometimes it's just better to just pay more money and not deal with the headache of all this garbage. And then you've gained time, you've gained sanity, maybe you've saved friendships and relationships
Yeah.
with your spouse and others.
Yes.
I mean, there's
Yes.
something to be
Yes.
said
Yeah,
for
it's
just,
almost like you need to consider the holistic cost
yes, you do need to consider the holistic cost.
when making a purchase. And I did, somebody was talking about, oh, I think it was Rich on the Rich on Tech podcast. He's got the radio show um, as well, but he was talking to a couple people from the different deal sites this last weekend. And just like the whole rush to the store at 6 a.m. thing on Friday just done? Like,
Yeah,
that's
do
kind of
people
what I
still do
always
that?
thought. Are you? Yeah, they were saying that it really isn't that much of a thing because all the deals are online. You just go to Amazon and hit purchase, and really for a TV, TVs are so cheap now. And a
Or free?
quick sidestep. I received a large package today with a Tele TV. I have not had time to unpack it, but
Yeah,
more on that later. I sent you a picture,
I
Dave.
did see the picture.
Yes, so I got a free TV today from Telly.
Who needs it? And if
So
you've got an iPad or a computer, you can watch all the TV you want on it.
yeah, yeah. So anyways, Black Friday. If you guys do have something that you're looking for or questions on, please reach out to us on social media or whatever, because there's a good chance that we know something about whatever you're looking for and can take a look at a deal and see if that's worth it. But Dave, to your pick of the week.
Yes, well, this week's pick is something that I purchased for a client many months ago, and I had a need, and I was getting paid for a gig, and so I liked the product so much, I decided to buy one myself.
Oh,
Not
nice.
only am I an investor, I'm a customer, or whatever that thing is.
Yes.
Uh,
Your
so,
club
to,
for men.
yeah, so I'm also a client. So I purchased the
Ooh, pretty.
Zoom H6 audio recorder,
Mm.
named 6 because it has one, two, three, four, sorry, five, six audio inputs
Wow.
that you can. And this particular unit, I have a tripod that didn't come with it, but this particular unit has a headpiece that can come on and off, and you can get different type of microphones to put on there. And yes, you can even get an adapter that adds two more XLR ports. And they're not just standard XLR ports, they are XLR with quarter 20
Oh, yes, the combo ports.
combo ports. So it's really nice. There's a headphone jack. This is where your SD card goes. So having a Zoom microphone that you can just record through the included capsules or other capsules that you could purchase, or that you can have lines into the side, and then you can monitor it through your headphones. It's really handy. have I utilized it to its full potential? No. But I live streamed a show a while back, and what I did is I put this down towards the stage, and then I ran the output into my ATEM, and I was using that for room audio.
Yeah,
So, and I
very nice.
also, not the pick of the week, but I bought a foam cover
Oh, yes.
pop filter thing, and it also came with a dead cat wind
Very
filter,
nice.
which is really kind of nice. I
Yes.
kind of just want to pet it
Don't
a
let
lot. It's like
Isla
an
see
animal.
that. She'll want that too.
Yeah.
Add to her
Well,
stuffy
she better not come
collection.
over to my house and take all my things.
She will. Uh, but she'll give you big blue eyes and
Yeah.
a sob story when you don't want to give it to her. But
Well,
yeah, those Zoom is a great company for audio capture. I have one of their older, very simple devices, and I know we've talked about those in the long past, but having
yeah.
one like that with all the inputs and all the options for
I bought
under
mine on Amazon,
$200.
and I don't know if this was the price I paid for it, but I did get the refurbished model. And so far, so good on Amazon refurbished models. They
Yeah.
seem to be brand new units practically, maybe open boxes. But I saved myself 40 or 50 bucks by ordering it refurbished.
Yes, that is a great pro tip. That the Amazon renewed
Yes.
or refurbished program, they seem to have some pretty good standards on that, and they'll stand behind their sales,
Hmm.
like they do with most things. So it makes sense. Uh, Very cool. Now you're making me want to go buy one of those that I have no need for it.
You could borrow
Um,
mine.
but my pick of this week is actually a side pick. It is the Neewer CM28. And for those of you that pay close attention, you might look at this product that I'm holding up on the video stream and say, that looks a lot like Dave's full aim product that he picked back on episode 404, podcast not found. And Dave, we buried the lead. We were in the same place on Saturday
We
evening.
were.
And I utilized this product, and we were able to compare this one that's newer to your full aim, and they are exactly identical with different
They're the
logos on
same
them.
product.
Yes. But what this is, you have, as Dave talked about before, you have a receiver that will plug in. I plugged it into my sound mixer for when I was DJing a wedding, which is where we were in the same room. And then there's two little microphones that have a clip, they have a magnet. You can plug in a lapel mic or any kind of microphone in there with a headphone jack. Um, and it worked really well. It works over Bluetooth for the connection, and I was a little worried. We tried it at the rehearsal, and the audio worked fine. But then I said, "What's going to happen when we have a couple hundred people with Bluetooth devices in their pocket the day of the wedding?" But Dave, you were sitting in the rear and said the audio
Sounded
sounded
fine.
great.
Yeah, it sounded
So
fine. I think the wearer potentially could have moved it a little closer to their mouth or
yes,
something like that.
yes,
But with these units, there's also the option to put a lapel mic into it
yeah.
so that he could have had one right here on his collar or something really close. But overall, it was fine. You were probably about 60 feet away and it picked it up just fine.
Yeah, yeah, and I had a lapel mic, but I realized it was a TRS connection for
Ah,
the phone, which didn't work with this, so I need to get one. But the video crew, they had lapel mics. There was so much equipment in that room
there was.
for the wedding. It was a wonderful wedding. But yeah, so this newer one, so right now on Amazon, this one's $129. I got it on a special off their website for $99. But I'm also, when I searched newer CM28, your full aim X5 came up right next to it. And it's on a Black Friday deal right now for 99 bucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do audio stuff, and it would help to have some wireless setup. These devices, and there's a bunch of different brands. There's a Hollyland, which is
Hollyland are the ones that
$99.
kind of invented this space. So they're
Yes,
the real deal.
they're slightly different, but this one, and Dave mentioned it when he had the pick, but comes with two little adapters that plug in via USB-C, one with USB-C and one with Lightning, so you can plug it directly into your, I was looking at their pictures, into your computer or into an iPhone or whatever you have to record that audio straight in and be able to be wireless
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
audio. So
if you're just using your computer's webcam to do Zoom meetings or whatever, you could plug this into the port, either the audio jack port or into the USB-C port, and wear the little lapel, and you could have a wireless mic just to use with Zoom or whatever.
yeah, yeah. We
So,
should try just doing an entire podcast using them. And I do like, I think yours has this too, that
but
there's a
dude,
little
they're identical.
magnet.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a little magnet here, so you can actually take it and like put it inside your shirt and then just have it, and it, I mean, it's invisible and it'd
yeah,
be working right there. So,
yeah.
um, as I
It's a
try to
good
get this
product.
back out of my shirt now. Yeah, very happy. So we've got two different options for that. And I teased it last week, and we are going to reintroduce the Ramazon purchase of the week. And I think
Dun
at one time we,
dun. Ba
yes,
ba
we
da
had the
ba
sounder
ba.
for that. But
Ba
what
da
this
ba.
is we get anonymous reports through our Amazon affiliate account. So when you use notpix.com, and use those Amazon links. Man, today I just, it's because we're 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
My
Even had
vocal
your whiskey.
abilities don't really kick in. Yeah, and my whiskey kick in a little later. But we can look at those reports to see what people have bought. It doesn't tell us who bought it. But I was looking through and I found one that I wanted to bring up because it's pretty interesting. It's very similar to the Shift Cam product that we featured in the hike video on YouTube, which if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen that, go check it out. But this is the Kiwi Photos phone tripod mount phone grip handle holder with detachable Bluetooth shutter and cold shoe adapter for iPhone 14, 15, Samsung smartphone selfie vlog video shooting black. Couldn't do that one all in one breath.
Wow.
But unlike the Shift Cam, which I believe the full kit is over $100, this one was $15 or Black Friday deal is $15.49.
Hmm.
So what it is it's got a little clamp and it slides on your phone. I guess I could send you a link, Dave, so that you could actually show it on the screen to people.
I could. I
But
was trying to
I would
catch
love
the
to
name
hear
so I could
from
type it in.
whoever bought this so that you could let us know how it's working. But it clips on your phone, kind of gives you a camera handle there with a Bluetooth button and some different features. I did tech. There you go, the Kiwi Photo. Um, but it doesn't quite look as elegant as the Shift Cam one that I have, which justifies my higher price. But it's got a
Mm-hmm.
little cold shoe mount on the top. And I'm sure this would get the job done. It's got a tripod mount on it. A real, I've really enjoyed having the Shift Cam, the two different versions of that one I've had. But this Kiwi Photos, again, listeners, if it was you that purchased that, let us know. And if it wasn't you, get over to notpix.com, buy some stuff through Amazon links so that you might be a featured future Ramazon purchase of the
That's a lot of
week.
F's.
Yes, but this product does have 4.5 stars on over 1,000 ratings. So
I mean, do you
Amazon's
really need
choice.
the
And
one that looks fancier if this is so much cheaper?
no, no, yeah, that you have to look at the holistic cost of that and say, okay, do I need the pro one or can I get this cheaper one that will do what I need it to? I am a big fan of that, and
Mm-hmm.
Amazon is usually pretty good for that.
Yeah,
So
get it, and if you don't like it, you just ship it right back. Or take it
yes,
to your
yes.
local
So
Kohl's, which is what I do.
yes, yes, indeed. Or Whole Foods, we get the option of sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you to whoever bought that. We got many pennies in affiliate fees for you purchasing that. So if we
Just a
get
few
all of
more, I'll
our
be able to
listeners to,
justify my new laptop.
yeah, exactly. We talked about getting enough affiliate fees that we could
And my
buy
Zoom
David a new
recorder.
laptop. Yeah. We have got a lot of stuff. Black Friday, you guys better go heavy at notpicks.com. And
Yeah.
even if you aren't buying one of our products, the links there will kick it into the affiliate. Um, and should give us some sort of payment out of that.
Hmm.
But we like Amazon. Well, I don't know if the right word is we like Amazon. I don't like everything about Amazon, but we
No.
utilize Amazon a whole awful lot. And a lot of the products that we buy is the first place I always go to try to buy something. And so it's what people like it or not, it's where a whole lot of people shop, and their affiliate program, while not as good as it used to be, is still something that helps out little old podcasts like us.
Hmm. And
Well,
yeah, just
yeah,
like Facebook, it's as the poet Ariel, the mermaid, saying, "I want to know where the people are." Well, that's where they
yes,
are, is Facebook, and the products, they be at Amazon.
yeah, yeah, it is true. Those are two dominant forces in where the people are. Uh, Well, thank you for those of you that joined us live. We did go early. I got a notice out about it, but not early enough probably for most people to see that and realize people have like work and families and stuff. But
Yeah.
thank you for those of you that joined us live. But you can always watch it later on YouTube or check it via your favorite podcast app. We will be back next Monday on Cyber Monday, the special, not very special Cyber Monday episode. But there will always be more tech news to talk about, and we will keep doing it for the foreseeable future so that you can get out there and tech better.